To the future, Marcus bellowed, raising his crystal flute high. The ballroom of the Pier Hotel erupted in applause. Flashbulbs blinded us as my husband of 22 years stood on the podium, basking in the adoration of Silicon Valley's elite. He looked every bit the billionaire tech mogul, charismatic, handsome, and utterly full of himself. Beside him stood Sarah Hayes, 26-year-old Chief Innovation Officer, wearing a red dress that screamed for attention, her hand resting possessively on his arm. I stood in the shadows near the stage, wearing a sensible navy gown, holding a glass of sparkling water. I was Elena, the quiet wife, the invisible support system, the woman who, according to the tabloids, got lucky marrying a genius like Marcus heavily. Tonight isn't just about launching the Titan AI processor, Marcus continued, his voice dropping to a theatrical hush. It's about shedding the old to embrace the new. It's about authenticity. The room went quiet. My stomach didn't churn. Instead, a cold calm settled over me. I knew the script. I had read the draft of this speech on his iPad 3 days ago. Growth requires shedding dead weight, Marcus said, finally turning his gaze toward me. It wasn't a look of love. It was a look of pity. Elena and I have decided to part ways. Our paths have diverged. I am a man of the future, and I need a partner who runs at my speed. Sarah and I. He pulled Sarah closer. The crowd gasped. A few people looked at me with horror. A public divorce announcement at a product launch. It was cruel, even for Marcus. Elena will be taken care of course, he added dismissively. But Titan AI is my baby, my vision. And tonight, I am stepping into a new era with Sarah by my side. He waited for my tears. He waited for me to run off stage left, humiliated. Instead, I walked up the stairs to the podium. The security guard hesitated, but I shot him a look so withering he stepped back. I walked straight to the microphone. Marcus looked annoyed, whispering, "Elena, don't make a scene. You'll get your alimony." I smiled. It was the same smile I used when I fixed his bugs in the code back when we were living in a garage in San Jose. "Congratulations, Marcus," I said, my voice clear and steady. The sound system carried my words to the stunned audience. "And congratulations, Sarah. You two deserve each other." I reached into my clutch, not for a tissue, but for a USB drive and a folded legal document. "Marcus is right about one thing," I addressed the crowd. "Titan AI is a revolutionary technology. It will change the world, but he's wrong about whose baby it is." "Elena, get off the stage," Marcus hissed, grabbing my arm. I pulled away sharply. "Let go of me, unless you want the sect to hear about the shimmering accounts in the Cayman Islands too." He froze. I turned back to the audience. "My name is Elena Vance. You know me as the housewife who hosts charity dinners." What Marcus forgot to mention is that before I was a housewife, I was a doctoral candidate in computational mathematics at MIT. Marcus was a marketing major who dropped out. A murmur rippled through the room. For 20 years, I stayed in the background. I raised our children. I managed the home. And every night, from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., I wrote the code that made this company billions, the Titan algorithm. I wrote the core kernel on our kitchen table while Marcus was out networking with investors. "She's lying," Marcus shouted, his face turning red. "She's just a bitter ex-wife. Cut her mic." "You can cut the mic," I said, raising my voice, "but you can't cut the legal binding of a patent." I held up the document. "This is the original patent registration for the Titan architecture, dated 4 years ago. You see, when Marcus started getting distant, when he started working late with Sarah, I started protecting myself. I registered the intellectual property in my maiden name, Elena Rostov." Sarah looked at Marcus, eyes wide. "Marcus, is that true?" "And this," I held up the USB drive, "contains the kill switch." The room went deadly silent. "You see," I continued, enjoying the terror dawning in Marcus's eyes, "I knew this day would come. I knew Marcus would eventually trade me in for a newer model, just like he does with his cars. So, I built a dependency into the code. Without a specific encrypted key which only I possess, the Titan AI doesn't work. In fact, if I don't enter the code by midnight tonight, I checked my watch, which is in 12 minutes, the entire system wipes itself to prevent theft." "You wouldn't," Marcus whispered, the color draining from his face. "The stock price, the investors, The investors investing in your company, Marcus." "But the product belongs to me," I corrected him. "I turned to the board of directors, who were sitting in the front row, looking like they were about to have heart attacks. Gentlemen, Marcus has been licensing my technology without my permission. As of this moment, I am issuing a cease and desist order to Vanstech, unless ... unless what? The chairman of the board stood up, ignoring Marcus completely. Unless the company undergoes an immediate restructuring, I said coolly. Marcus steps down as CEO effective immediately. His equity is transferred to me as settlement for the divorce. And Sarah ... I glanced at the girl in the red dress, who was now physically distancing herself from Marcus ... Sarah is fired for corporate espionage and conflict of interest. You can't do this, Marcus screamed, lunging toward me. Two security guards, the same ones who worked for the company, not Marcus, personally stepped in his way, holding him back. I said. I am the majority patent holder. Without me, Vanstech is just a fancy logo. I looked at the chairman. Do we have a deal? Or do I let the clock run out and turn a billion-dollar company into a paperweight? The chairman didn't hesitate. Mr. Vance, you are relieved of your duties. Security, please escort him out, Mrs. Vance, or, should I say, Ms. Rostov. We would love to discuss your terms. Marcus was dragging his feet as security pulled him away, shouting obscenities. I made you. You were nothing without me. I was the code. Marcus, I said into the mic, my final words to him. You were just the user interface. And you've been glitchy for years. I placed the USB drive on the podium, smoothed my dress, and looked at the crowd of 500 people who were now standing, some in shock, some in awe. Enjoy the rest of your evening, I said with a smile. The dessert bar is open. As I walked off the stage, I didn't look back at the man I had loved for half my life. I walked straight toward the chairman, ready to negotiate my salary as the new CEO. Outside, the cool air felt different. It felt like ownership.